Okay. Evening, everyone. Good to see you. We're in July, nearly the end of July. And as I look out the window here, it's sunny evening at 8 o'clock in the UK. It's Stuart here from my shop, the Woolpatch, a yarn fabric cabinet. Ooh, no, I'm going to have to stop saying that. I used to say a yarn fabric and haberdashery, but as you'll find out later, it's all changing. A yarn shop from Long Melford, Suffolk, UK. Lovely to see you all. Many of you in the chat getting your 3-word welcomes. James, well, maybe I counted it as an emoji. That counts, doesn't it? Evening all emoji. Let you off that with that one, James. But feel for you there. Right back to the never-ending sock gusset. Lovely to see you all in the chat. Oh, Sue. Curly Sue, you're what you trying to get? You're too kind. Lovely seeing you all. As you know, if you're watching live and you're commenting in the chat, who's there? We know. It's producer Fizz. She's got you all covered there in the chat with links and everything. She tells you what's coming up next. She keeps me on track too, because the wonders of digital, she can talk in my ear. Can't you, Fizz? Yes, she can. So we should even more spot and hit our times as we go, because I know she'll be going, right, 2 minutes left before you need to move on. Like we're doing it proper. We're doing it proper. Keep the chat going. I know as the show progresses, you like chatting there in YouTube. I can see some here. Woo! Maria from Really Maria. Her wonderful yarn fabric haberdashery. Now, she is a yarn fabric haberdashery properly. Ian, I'm going to say, I wanted to say West Dulwich, or is it East Dulwich? I forget. Oh, no, Maria, sorry. But if you love bright colours and fabrics and fur prints and everything, get it there. Lovely to see everyone. And Eve and James on the other side of the planet. Fun day Monday. Oh, that's your 3-word welcome, James. Nice one. I know. Get me with the producer. It's great. Keeps us all on track. Let's have a look at the running order then, shall we? See what's coming up for July's edition. Oh, I came up and disappeared again. For July's edition of the Woolpatch Show. Here we go. The tablecloth to shirt. Here it is. We'll be talking about that any minute now. Guess the year, as always, a little bit of fun where I show you a pattern or a picture or a clothing garment and you guess the year of it. Then we're going to talk about the brand new Symfonie yarns. Let's go to the poll on YouTube for those watching live. And I said, who knows? End poll. So currently 64% say no, 36% say yes. So that will be interesting to talk about. Then we've got the gallery. Well, what sadly will be our last gallery. I'll talk to you more about that. Instagram and their tweaking of the hashtag. Then after the gallery, we've got the Lavenham Blue 2023 collection, which is launched. Many of you have pre-ordered, and it's winging your way to you as we speak. And then some shop news, as I said at the beginning, about saying goodbye to fabric and getting more yarn in. And then, as always, we have the charts, the top 10 knitting charts and crochet charts as found in Ravelry on Hot Right Now. And speaking of hot right now, hopefully I'm sounding hot as we've sorted out all the sound issues. So it should be quite good. If you aren't watching live, I hope you are still going to be enjoying the show. If you are watching live, but you're not in the comments and you're sat at the settee with me up on your big telly, hello, everyone. Lovely to have you however you watch. Love having your company. So there we go. That's the running order. Let's kick off. No further ado, because I am absolutely thrilled with this make. I have said to many, this is, you know, when you've made something and you feel absolutely chuffed with it. I think this is the best make that I have ever made as a sewing garment point of view. Really, really, really pleased with it. And it was inspired by the Great British Sewing Bee. I love the programme. We do our Unpicked and All Gathered Up show on Thursdays. Many of you may watch me with Ting or me with the fabulous Carol, the Master Tailor Couturier. And we talk about the show and we analyse it. And I often say this, it's almost like Match the Day. And I've said my brother and my dad used to watch that whenever it was on, Saturday night or whatever. And then, or watch a football match, say someone was playing live, and then it goes to the pundits afterwards, and then they would shout at the pundits saying, "What are you saying?" and don't agree with them. And then my brother and my dad would talk about it perhaps for another hour after everything's finished. And I kind of always envied that, being able to talk about your sport or your passion in so much detail. And so relish this chance with sewing on mainstream telly to then do our little analysis show. And I know sometimes it looks like we're always moaning, especially at the producers of maybe the format, but I think it's because we love it so much and we really appreciate it. We also really appreciate the sewers because what they put themselves up for is immense. But it was the Reduce, Reuse, Recycle week which inspired me. So I thought, I'm going to take a tablecloth. Took that tablecloth and turned it into a shirt. Take a look at this. Yes, good point. What did we say? What do you think? Did you like the old hollyhock in the garden too? Or were you looking at something else? Hopefully you were looking at my shirt. Really, really pleased. Thank you for all your lovely comments. And yes, do you know this one? Suits you, sir. Oh my word, that takes me back to the 90s, doesn't it? Really pleased. And I finally got a few buttons pressed there, but Fizz was getting well excited because she said, look at all these red W's. Yes, for those of you who can see the red W's, that's for our members, our shop supporters who have gone on to sign up through YouTube. And you start off with a cream W, and now it turns red after 2 months. So if you see a red W, you know they've been a supporter for 2 months or more. And it's wonderful to see so many of you with red W's or even cream W's where you start off at. Yeah, really, really heartwarming. And it makes a huge difference, especially in the summer here. when paying those bills gets quite difficult because a lot of people stop knitting. So that's what the W's are for. So yes, the shirt. If you've been watching me and the Woolpatch Show for a good 2 years now, you will know the pattern. Fizz has dropped it into the chat already. Thread Theory. I've made it out of gingham. I made it out of pink beautiful fabric by Essex Linen, Robert Kaufman first, and then I did it out of gingham, red gingham and blue gingham, and gingham was so much easier because the gingham was 1/4-inch squares. So doing that was wonderful. But I've had this tablecloth lying around for ages. Mum had found it up in the loft from my grandparents. And I thought, well, maybe someone will want to buy that, especially if I dye it woad. So I dyed it with woad first, and it had been lying around, I think, in the shop for a good year and a half. And as I said, it was the Sewing Bee, the Reduce, Reuse, Recycle episode that really inspired me. I thought, right, I've got to do something with that. Let's make a shirt. And it was wonderful. Because I've made the shirt before, I felt very comfortable and confident with it. And then it was, I think, the freedom to choose where to place the pattern pieces, because you saw that picture of the tablecloth, and that was the exciting thing, and trying to either pattern match or think what would work well and where. So for example, when you saw the back, and placing that large lace bit on the back, or one of the lace bits there down the side. And then my favourite idea was, can anyone remember Lawrence, get my teeth put in, Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen, when he was doing changing rooms, early 90s, I think, and always wore shirts with wonderful cuffs. So, yes, my fabulous Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen cuffs. Really pleased with it. Let me just show you the pattern, because I've been wanting for some time to do a live sew along too with this pattern, and I've been chatting to some people. Some of the gang that I sew with on a Saturday night have talked about wanting to sew it as well. So that's coming up probably for autumn. But let me show you Thread Theory's website, because you can buy the pattern digitally. You could buy it from Merchant Mills, I think, if you're in the UK, or from a company in the UK, so it doesn't ship from Canada because they're a Canadian company. But if you use their website, they have their own sew along with it. And I used this many times. And you just go through bit by bit by bit. So there you go. It gives you, and it's so in depth. It's actually better following this than it is the actual paper pattern that comes with it, your instruction booklet, because you can go on. So like, let's do pleats or darts. Now, modifications for this, I use the actual normal pattern, because it comes with two patterns. It comes with a relaxed fit, and then it comes with a muscle slim fit, tailored fit, I think they call it. This is the relaxed fit, because this is linen. I wanted it to be that summery, floppy feel. And of course, I didn't put the darts in, because had I put the darts in the back, it would have ruined that bit there. But if you are doing it, you see, look, it gives you all these instructions, really clear pictures of there. That's the pocket, how to do the pocket. And if you're like me, still new to dressmaking, you want every stage done. You don't want just suddenly and then fold over and sew down. You want a picture of it folded over, and then a picture of it then sort of down. You just want, and look at this, so detailed. So if you are going to make the shirt and you don't want to wait for our sew along, then use their step-by-step sew along. See, look at that. How many pictures? You'd get like 2 in the instruction book just to put the pocket down. So it is a wonderful, wonderful guide and a wonderful company. If you've used them, let us know, pop it in the comments. and it'll be interesting to see if you have, especially the guys, if you've done this one. This is called the Fairfield Button Up. But if we go back, you can just go to patterns and look, all sorts there. Ooh, that would be good to see some boxer shorts next, wouldn't it? Look at them. Ooh. And yeah, see, look at that for a fab shirt. Loads of wonderful patterns. So yes, that's the Thread Theory company, and I've now since, because I'm, you know, when you get a good pattern, you just want to keep making it over and over again. Well, that's what I've done. I've now transferred my pattern pieces onto hard, firm Vilene, so I can just fold it up, pop it away, and no matter how many times I use that, that will just be easy to unravel, place down on my fabric and cut out. So if you want a good shirt to make, then this is the one. Really pleased. The only thing, and it will be interesting to hear your opinions on this, it's still my best make, but I am thinking, oh, should I have not used any interfacing on my button band? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Not that it feels rigid, but I'm just thinking, oh, does it stand out too much and look too, does it make it too formal? But then I suppose, actually, could I then get away with wearing it at a wedding because it actually has that firm button band? But I don't know whether you can see it quite firm, can't you? So that was the only thing I've come away thinking, oh, should I've not used any interfacing in there? Because obviously I've used interfacing where you fold it over and again. And that's needed probably for the support of the buttonhole, you see, isn't it? But there we are. Let us know your thoughts. Before we move on to guest year, let's just have a look at the chat. Ah, yes, right. Maria, yes, East Dulwich. So if you're ever passing there and you want a fabric haberdashery, or go online as well. Lovely to have you watching, Maria. It's nice supporting everyone. And oh, thank you for your kind words. Margaret, great transformation. Too scary for me. You could, no problems at all. It depends on how much you like your tablecloth, because I know many people, when we did the sewing bee video, they were like, can't cut up crochet blanket. But then if it's not doing anything, why not? Why not? That's what I say. Oh, wow, that's a word from the past. Fizz, producer Fizz, snazzy. I haven't used that word since the 80s. Jenny, your button band is not lying as flat as it should be. Perhaps you need a light. Yeah, you see, that's what I'm thinking. I used firm, so therefore it's quite rigid and tight. So there is almost a little ripple there where the fabric can't really breathe and sort of move. Jan says, I hadn't even noticed as the lace and patterns attracts the eye. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, I don't think I noticed it straight away. I think it was towards, after wearing it a couple of times, and I thought, oh, right. Natasha says, button band looks fine. I would say you always need some interfacing, but I often use a light one. Yeah, thanks, Natasha. I'm going to use that more often, actually. I used the firm one. Can't remember what the code is, but there we go. But I still love it. And that means the tablecloth is no longer sitting in a cupboard not being used. It's got more years out of it. Wonderful for this summer. Right. Are you ready for a bit of fun? Guess the year. I've got Fizz talking to me here. I'm a bit late already. But schedule. Okay. Guess the year. If you're new to it, I'm going to show you a picture of something, and you have to guess the year that it was in. When it was made and created. And it's very topical, this one. because we've had Wimbledon on for the last 2 weeks. What did you think of the winner, the men's winner, and the amazing ladies winner too? So try and hone into the Wimbledon feel and guess the year when this top first came out, and he's wearing it. Take a look. Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, I got too many buttons here. Too many buttons. And do you know what, as well? You might notice this, but I've fiddled with some buttons on YouTube. I've been doing a bit of reading around the subject on live streaming, and I have got the lag between me talking and you seeing and commenting, hopefully down to about 5 seconds. It used to be, would you believe, 30 seconds before any of your comments came through after I've spoken. So I would have to try and pad for a little while, like 30 seconds before I saw any of your comments. But it's coming through already. So we've got great time. So 1 minute now for you to chat, chuck in the comments as many, what of you think this year that Mr. Fred Perry made this garment and he's wearing it there. So what year do you think it is? If you're at home watching, shout it out. And I'm going to get the right button this time and press that and that. Here you go. Chuck them in the comments and I'll get them on the screen. Let's move that down. Let's make it a bit bigger, shall we? Valerie, 1954. 40 seconds left, get them in. 57, Jan, 58, 63, Tracy, 56, Jenny, 56. Late, Rob, do you think? No? 63, 20 seconds left, get your dates in. 68, oh, the 60s are popular. 68, another one. Jill, 1955. James, 52. Great to see you, Everby. 58. Margaret, 52. Tandy, 67. Right, the year is 52. Anyone get it, Fizz? Margaret got it. Well done, Margaret. James, should I give you that? You got a question mark. Yeah. Anyone else? Some of you were close. Well done. Yeah, it's a classic. Fred Perry. It is called, and where is it? I've got it here somewhere. Let's push my button. Have I got it there? No, I haven't got it there. I've got so many buttons everywhere. No, it's called the M3. Great name for it. But yes, he came up with it. This classic polo shirt, and especially with the colour as well, as they soon developed having the on the collar, the piqué, is that what you say? But it is a phenomenal shirt, and well, you've seen it in all sorts of fashion culture. In the early 90s, didn't like the Manchester sort of, it'll go there with some of the Oasis and Blur, but yeah, if pop culture, the polo shirt, very much so. And I love it. I've got loads of them. I wore them. It was my uniform when I was teaching, because you could roll around in it in the drama studio and doing sort of workshops and games. But it's a classic for going out of an evening with a pair of chinos or something. But yes, wonderful. Right, let's move on, because I know many of you are yarn people and you're dying to hear about what Symfonie Yarns is. So let's take a look. So Symfonie Yarns is a brand new yarn company on the block. But it is under the umbrella of good old KnitPro. And if I show you their website, Let's press this. And let's go to this. There we go. You might start to see straight away influences of KnitPro, colours and font style. If you go to their website, this is what you first see, them explaining all about it. Welcome to Symphony Yarns from our beautiful studio in Delhi, India. And then you keep scrolling down, and that's the bit there. Symphony is a division of KnitPro International. In America, KnitPro is Knitter's Pride. Based in Jaipur, Delhi, India. Symphony is the dream child of a few passionate knitters and crocheters on our team who took it upon themselves to research the marketplace and educate themselves on the many facets of hand dyeing. Now, they've been doing needles for years, haven't they? So it doesn't surprise me that they wanted to go down this route. And I have obviously known about this yarn since March, because when I went to the... Oh, say again, Fizz. Oh, and when I went to the biggest yarn festival in Europe for traders, H&H at Cologne, they had a massive stand, KnitPro, Knitter's Pride, showing it off and showing their yarn off. So I can understand why they wanted to go into that of producing yarn. Their stand was huge. They were also showing that they've got rid of all the plastic. So if you buy like Symphony needles or Zing needles, you'll know they have a bit of cardboard. The needles are popped in and they have that cellophane over the top. Well, they've now got rid of that. So shops, until stocks obviously last, they'll be sort of going through those stocks. But hopefully soon you'll be seeing on your shelves completely cardboard. Paper recycling, not an inch of plastic in sight. And the cardboard will have an opening, so you'll be able to touch and see the insides too. So they are really, really trying. So let's take you back to the website. This is what they've got. They've got Viva, Terra, Flora, and Luna. And it's mostly superwash merino DK, which you've seen everywhere. Most indie dyers will be buying their blank yarns from Chester, Rooster, Undyed Yarns. They're the big companies. Laxton's are more natural fibres without the superwash. And so the superwash merino DK, Viva, won't be really anything new. You'll have seen it with most indie dyers. The Terra's got nylon, so that's very much for sock or for shawls or for a jumper as well. And then it's the Flora that interested me most, because it's completely naturally dyed using like madder or indigo. And then you've got Luna there, 75% merino and 25% silk. Now, if this works... It's gone a bit dark in here, actually. I should have had a light on. Let me go to this. Oh, no, there you go. This is their shade card. And I thought I'd show you this. So that's the Viva. So this is the classic superwash merino. 100-gram hanks. So not in balls like classic commercial. They're going for that indie dyed look. Even though you could say it's a commercial company. And that is the good thing. Because it is a commercial company, it will retail cheaper than indie dyed yarn, obviously, because they're mass marketing it. So it should retail between sort of £14 and £16 compared to perhaps an indie dyer, which is going, well, they used to be around £18, but many indie dyers now are knocking on, what, £21, £22? But look at those colours. So that's the classic superwash merino, but it's this that I wanted to show you that I've gone for, and it is the hand-dyed natural. So we have two using madder. Now this is interesting because madder technically you would expect to be red and kind of like a brick red. This is almost a dark brick red. It's lost its red and it's gone for more classic brick So virtually going towards brown. And then you've got what they call the soft madder, perhaps where they've used less of the madder root in the dye. Then you've got beautiful marigold, so yellow marigold. And then you've got sand, which they have used with madder, but then another natural dye called alkanet to get this colour. It's like an ecru. And then, yes, the two ones that you know I absolutely adore is indigo. And they've got indigo evening, which is a beautiful navy, and then indigo morning, which is a classic denim. It's not even sky blue, it's denim blue. And we'll take a look at those in more detail. Now, what I'm fascinated in, because obviously I hand dye, it was to see how different their indigo is compared to mine, because I expect they're using Japanese indigo because it's cheaper and you get a stronger colour out of it. So, shall we see the hanks? There. Now, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Remember, it's superwash merino. And the indigo is, in fact, it looks a bit lighter on the screen there, but actually in real life, it is classic navy. Remember your navy jumpers from school. It's that dark navy. I'll get my wires out of the way, Stuart. But that denim that's what it looks to me like in real life. It's a good colour show on the screen there. And what's interesting about this with indigo is there is no blobs. There are no. It is very, very. How do you say it? I think it's a solid. There some tonal bits there, but very, very little. Like that's probably a bit darker there. Oh, go the right way. But it is pretty much a solid. So if you were going to do a jumper out of this, no problems at all if you didn't want that variegation or that tonal effect. The same with the madder. Very little tonal areas. Almost a solid. Maybe when it catches the light and the shadow, you can kind of see some darker bits. It's almost captured on the iPhone, isn't it? Just a little bit darker, but it's so marginal, it would almost look like a solid. And I wonder what that would look like knitted up. I've only had this for 2 weeks. It's literally only being shipped out now. So I'll try and get something, even a swatch knitted up ASAP, and see if you can notice. I think it will be oh, go on, Fizz, say again. She just said something. What did you say, Fizz? Oh, send it to Fizz. All right, I'll send it to you. The marigold is, you can just see there a slight tonal, but it's not like classic variegated, or like with mine. Can I show you this? Just wondering with mine. Oh yeah, look at mine. Look. So that's my Lavenham blue with woad. And can you see where it gets in the vat and it hits, some real neat woad. So there's lots of woad that's grabbed onto there and then not much here, loads there. You won't get anything like that in here. It is, as I say, right, bang on, solid. So there we go. So that is the range. Can we put it like that? Oh, doesn't that look lovely? So you've got your 2 indigos, your 2 madders, your madder with alkanet just to make it a different colour, and then your marigold. And it's called Flora. Oh, upside down. There we are. And notice they've got the KnitPro on there. There we are. Let's go back to me here. Oh yeah, yeah. You see, look, my shirt is kind of sky blue. That's no, that one's denim, and that one's navy. As I say, it will retail around. I think I've got it at £16. Which is right. It should be cheaper, I think, than indie dyed yarn. Someone like myself dyeing it in my studio, especially as it's a solid. You'd think when people are doing variegateds and they've got different colours in and they've got speckles and things, that's proper artistry there. So I think that should be reflected in the price. It's available on my website now. So if you're local, you can come in and see it. If you're not and you like it and you want to invest in that yarn, you can. Or you can just wait till we've got something knitted up, because come autumn, I'm sure it will be there and have something on show. So that's Symfonie yarns by the KnitPro people. Right, past, a little bit over. We normally chill out a bit now and go for the gallery. But as I posted on Instagram today, I don't know whether you've noticed, but if you go to Instagram and you've got hashtags that you like to follow, so you go to the search bar and you put in the Woolpatch. It used to come up the top, top accounts tags, so you can still find that, and then it will show you the Woolpatch. You click on hashtag the Woolpatch, but it now only shows you the top posts. If you're on desktop, it only shows you the top posts, but on mobile phone, it will show you top posts, or you've got a new filter button on the right-hand side, and you click on filter, and it gives you top recent posts. But the recent algorithm doesn't really show like recent like it used to, because it used to just be top or recent. So it shows the recent posts, but only the top ones of those recent. It's a mess. So when I went to it, I can't find your pictures. Certainly not as easy as it used to be, because I used to click on recent and it would literally be someone who'd posted something 2 hours ago. And then as you scroll down, that will be the date goes down further into the past. So I've only got some pictures that I found because I started collecting them in early July. So let's take a look at two, because I've got a different gallery lined up for you, which I found. James, get ready to blush. Doesn't James look great here? So this is our mini gallery of the few pictures I could find. So this is James, and he's in his papillon shawl, and that's what he posted. His first ever shawl. Well, what a shawl to start off with, James. Last week, I finally got round to taking a few photographs. I loved the finished result, despite having to do about a million wraps and turns while knitting it. Well, you can see those wraps and turns reflected with my wonderful pen here. That's how you get those effects, isn't it? It is absolutely stunning. And of course, I had to put his cat in there, Miss Jaffa, who was annoyed with all the late night knitting taking attention away from her. But isn't it wonderful? Colours are superb, James. So if you fancy that, Fizz will pop the link in to Ravelry, I'm sure. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Would you make it again, James? I know, James, you're in the chat. Let us know. Give us your honest opinion of it. And then phenomenal Julie. I click on this one. Julie's been in the gallery many times, always using the hashtag. And before they changed the algorithm and messed around with it, I had these already prepped. My second quintet shawl, the first one was the red one there that she sent me a picture of. But the second one is the grey and bronze one. And she gives all the info of what yarn she's used and how she did it. She says there'll be more of these. Absolutely stunning. And that's the quintet shawl. So yes, beautiful work. And as you know, I'd normally piece it all together in the gallery, and we'd just enjoy celebrating all your work. So I'm afraid the gallery is probably going to be no more unless they change that and put another filter on just to say recent, because that's all we want. I'm not interested in top. It's not about what do you say, Fizz? Oh, yes, you could email. Absolutely. Anytime. But I think what was so good about Instagram is you're all doing it anyway. So, and you're all using hashtags. So just popping in my hashtag was kind of less work. And I did all the work of then finding your posts by just going to recent and finding them all. I don't want to put too much work on you having to think you've got to take some pictures, get it in an email and email it to me. But if you do want to, great. I know I've actually got a couple of pictures from good old Mickey, Smiling M5 Mickey, who you may know on Instagram. She's emailed me some pictures too. If you wanted to, definitely more than welcome. And we'll see how the gallery goes then over perhaps the next couple of months, see if Instagram changes it. But just for our last one, it worked out just right. Producer Fizz had a little break away and she went to an amazing quilt show. So we've got one last gallery with the music of some phenomenal quilts. And I know we've got many quilters. I'm still sewing, even though I'm getting rid of fabric. I'm still sewing and still patchworking and still quilting because I love it. So I know we've got many of you here watching who are quilters and sewers. So you're going to love this. So kick back, relax, and enjoy seeing some truly phenomenal work at this amazing outdoor quilt show. How amazing. If you love patchwork, you must have been in awe of some of those works, say. It was phenomenal. And how lovely to see such an event. And such an event that, well, yes, I'll tell you more about in a minute, but let's just go to the chat, because whilst that's playing, it gives me a chance to have a quick browse through. And it's lovely to see so many new faces on that I've seen Everbee, who we chat on unpicked videos. Lovely seeing you here, by the way. Let's have a look. What was I going to... Sue says, can't we go back to emailing our makes as we love the gallery? Absolutely sure. You can, Sue, for sure. If you want, obviously, we're all busy people. We're all doing billions of things. But I would love your emails for sure. And never feel like, because I know some people are like, I feel like I'm boasting sending an email to a picture of my work. No. Remember, it's about celebrating the amazing talents that you've all got, and also inspiring people, because sometimes people just don't know what to make. One of my knitting natters on a Friday afternoon, Val, she's wonderful, but every time she comes in, Stuart, what? I've got nothing to make. What am I going to make? And I'm like, Val, I don't know. So then let's go to Ravelry. So actually, the gallery inspires me sometimes to inspire Val on what to make. So it is a phenomenal tool. So yes, by sure, you can. James says here, I'm just going to spam your email with it. Absolutely, why not? Because it's even easier then for me, really. And Natasha, what a lovely idea. How about a new hashtag? We could try to see if it affects the algorithm. The Woolpatch Gallery, absolutely, will indeed. Oh, it's getting a bit dark in here. I'm going to have to put the light on. So yes, what Fizz went to see was this in Sisters in Oregon, the outdoor quilt show. And it was phenomenal. Some phenomenal makes. I loved that. Was it like a polar bear one or the Give Blood one? Absolutely loved it. But Fizz, I think, already knows because we had a quick chat about it. But it's inspired me so much that I'm going to do a similar event in Long Melford next year, because I've wanted to do events in Long Melford. But it's a long street, and we've had like Christmas events before where we have Santa Claus, and we have it comes early, and we have the reindeer, and then we have some the brass band playing. But because it's a long street, you lose a bit of the atmosphere because they're down there, they're in the middle, and they're down there. And also, it's never really benefited the shops when we arrange it all, because most of them are family events. They want to see Father Christmas or want to see reindeer. So seeing this outdoor show where they're walking through this town, I'm like, oh my God, that would be perfect. Long Melford is a wool town. So we're not going to do quilts. It would be great to have wool garments on show. And because it's a long strip, it's ideal, isn't it? Because every shop can have a couple of garments hanging up outside or even in the shops. And you can walk down Long Melford and see all these stunning makes that people have made in the village. Or, as I gathered from Sisters, if this is right, let me know in the chat, people are sending it to Sisters now from all over America. And as you're looking at the quilts, I think they put little information on. Whether it says where they're from, I don't know. If you've been to Sisters, you'll have to let me know. But how exciting would that be to come to Long Melford, a wool town, to see an array of wool garments made? So I'm very excited. So if you're local and you want to be part of the what do you call it, the working team to put it together, I think we should get a little group of us. Because I'm also thinking, if you know Long Melford, you know we've got Kentwell Hall and Melford Hall. Well, Kentwell Hall do reenactments. So we could have Tudor people walking around in all their posh gear as you look around. Look, now I'm getting excited. You could have spinners and weavers outside the shops doing drop spindles, or they could get their their wheels out. Oh, now you want good weather too. So if you're interested, let me know, because I'm sure sisters will have a huge army of people putting everything together. But it just excites me to, you know how we talk about money, local, shopping local, the money stays locally because we all live locally, so that the money we make goes back into the village. Like with my Lavenham blue, I'm paying the farmers, or I'm going to the local printers. So just imagine people flocking to Long Melford to see a wool show and celebrating wool, of a wool town that made so much money in the 16th century. So there you go. So you know what to do if you're interested. Watch this space. Now, speaking of Lavenham blue, oh, I'm running late, everyone. So if you don't mind, we'll go past 9. If you're enjoying it, great. If you dip out, I'll see you later. I'm getting too excited, so poor old Fizz is saying, move on. There we go. Nice little colour change. Do you want to see the Lavenham blue? Here we are. Let's go to this. I might have to put a light on. Oh, no, that doesn't work, does it? There we go. Oh, no. No, we'll go au naturel. Maybe if I go further out a bit. There. So for those who haven't seen it yet, this is the Lavenham blue. Look, and these are the tags that I was telling you about. So these are made at the local printers 5 minutes down the road. Look, each year we get, and I know people say, "Oh, you should put the date on because you could order 500 and keep reading." But it's like no, it's good when you get new things, and it tells you what it is. So there we go, 100% Wensleydale, 4-ply fingering weight, woolen spun, and you've got a whopping 384 meters there. It's very difficult to try and show the colours on the website. So if you are interested in buying it, you might either want to just ring the shop or email the shop. I can then send you pictures, or even better with technology, like I did with a customer last week, got a mobile and I WhatsApped her lots of pictures, because blue's very difficult to try and capture. There are basically 3 main colours. We have our sort of dark denim, which definitely is the most popular one. We then have, think of it as Simpsons sky on the opening credits, and you get that lovely blue sky, Simpsons. And then you get almost like aqua, very, very pale. So you can kind of see there, oh, look at that, that's better. But actually that one is a lot darker. That is close to denim. You can see it now, the camera's trying to work out that difference. And then when you purchase, you get your postcard that comes with it, which then explains where it came from. And this year's collection is a farm about 20 minutes from me. Farmer David and his son Charlie. I worked with those to have their Wensleydale fleece. And as I say, it went up to Yorkshire to be spun, the usual place, and then came back to me, and I've been dyeing solidly for the last sort of month and a half. But remember on one of the videos that I showed you, I had these carded slivers. You know, I always thought it was slither. Did anyone else think that? Slither. Let's get this pen. Slither. A slither of butter or a slither of bacon as a thin slice. And I've been saying it wrong all these years. It's not. It's a sliver. Like that. Did anyone else? Sliver. Because a slither is a slippery snake that slithers, isn't it? So yes, a sliver. And the miller, the spinner at the mill said the Wensleydale was just a bit too rubbish in places, too much bramble and stuff on them, probably poo and whatnot. So the yarn was only good for making into slivers. He said, I don't want to bin it because weavers, spinners or felters will love it. And I've done what they did in the 16th century. I've literally dyed it in the wool. Look. Can you? Oh no! If I changed the right camera, wouldn't it? Look, everyone. It's only lightly washed because I'm very conscious of felting it too much with cleaning. I don't know how they clean and wash slivers, but look at this end here. Look, James, Jimbo James, UK. I know you're a big spinner. You can see lots of his yarn on his Instagram. But James, you're going to have to get some and see. Look, I can tease that apart. I'm starting to learn a bit more about spinning. This is what do you call it? It's about 5 centimeter. What's the word? The term? I did learn it, James. You might have. I can pull it out before it breaks. It's about, what's that? 5 inches. Yes. Yeah, not 5 centimeters. I can't remember what it was called. A staple. Fizz says staple. James, yes. Yes, a staple. It's about a 5-inch staple. And it's just beautiful. And look, if you look at that, how it's dyed, there are some dark blue bits. There's some light blue. If you're a felter and you like doing, landscapes, oh, wow, that's going to look stunning. But anyway, so that's for sale too. So you can come into the shop there. Right, let's put some light on because getting sun's going down. That's better. I can see you all now. Staple, Tanner, yes, thank you. Staple length. That's the thing when you learn these new things. You've got all the vocabulary to learn too. Valerie, no way. What are you doing? Are you just enjoying the spinning, or are you going for a certain, like I'm going to do a fingering weight or a chunky, thin and arty sort of funky thing? Oh, look, even Sue, look at you all. Look, you all know the terminology. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Right, so that's the Lavenham Blue. Now, talking about Lavenham Blue, the shop, let's have a quick little chat to you about the shop, because I know many of you are interested in the shop. That's the whole point of the Woolpatch Show, is to celebrate the shop as well, and to keep running the business and to use YouTube. So let's go to shop news. So this is my shop as we speak, and yes, it looks a state. This was before Tim came in on Saturday. So here, and I get my lovely pen out, here is where the fabric was kept. I used to have all the grunge was there, and then all the prints was there. So it's virtually all gone now. Most of it is here in the cupboard, ready for another Selly Telly fabric sale, because our last Selly Telly was blenders and the grunge and a couple of prints. I've still got a lot of prints left in the cupboard there, just for you YouTube viewers. But the people who are coming into my shop, they've got some treats there still. There's hardly anything left. So the idea is that the Lavenham Blue, which is there, it's lovely, and we had Wayne, our fabulous sign writer, come in to do all his wonderful writing there. That is going to go here on that wall. Can you see that wall there? And I think that will look lovely. So let's put Lavenham Blue there. I think that will look nice because the window is literally here. So you could be in the road looking at this view, on the path looking at this view. Then, so Lavenham Blue is going to go to there. Then that means this whole wall is going to be empty. I've just spent 400 quid on shop fittings. I would have much preferred to have brought yarn. But the profits from Lavenham Blue have gone into buying shelf fittings. So here, you're going to have one massive slat wall, like you see in those posh yarn shops where they have indie dyed yarn. And then they'll have those prongs so the hanks can hang. There we are. That's so they're all going to be there, plus all the needles and the crochet hooks. They're all going to be here hanging out. So that's going to be all there. This table here, I won't need anymore because I don't need to cut any fabric. And if I need to cut fabric myself for projects at home, I'll just do it at the back there on the table. So this will go, meaning that this whole floor space is going to be empty. We might even have room for a comfy chair. We could have a comfy chair down here where you could sit at, one of those, maybe a like a little buffet, something, footstool. It could be really loungy. I don't know. I'm going to play with that. Obviously, my customers will need somewhere to browse through patterns because we've got these lovely folders here, and there is something quite nice about looking through the patterns. So I don't know whether I'll have a little island. I could have a little trendy island with a a mannequin, half a mannequin on. I'm open for ideas. You know me by now. I'm not precious over anything. If someone has an idea, because what do they say? There's no good idea. It's just the way you implement the idea. Some sort of expression like that. No bad idea. So if you've got any ideas, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. But that's the idea. Obviously, all this stuff, Wayne is going to have to repaint it there again, and that'll be another cost. But hey, it's what you do. It's exciting. The shop moves on to something new. The mess out the back, I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. Need to play around with that. That might be storage and then cover it right up completely. We'll have a see. So that's the idea. Hopefully by September, like kind of the start of the autumn, autumn and winter, this will all be done and that will all be moved. I'm still here over August, so we'll still be coming to you doing a show. So you'll be able to watch. If you're a shop supporter, you just think that's where your subscription is going to help develop the shop. Also, you and I've said this many times before. Let's go back to me here. Watching YouTube. Oh, I'm a bit yellow now, aren't I? Let's do that. Watching YouTube, the ads, we do get monetization from that. The sewing bee has given us a bit more income. So would you believe the last 2 months of the sewing bee, YouTube has paid £100 a month, which is great because there were some days last week where other than my knit and natter ladies, I didn't have a single customer. Because it's the summer. But I'm kind of used to that. And the Lavenham blue is what gets us through the summer, you see. So you work out ways of doing it and surviving. But yes, without a doubt, YouTube is a great help for the business from that point of view over the summer. Certainly the sewing bee. So you seeing those ads, I think it even works if you skip them, to be fair. I think we still get that paid for that. Has a big impact. Right, that's enough about me. Let's finish off. Do you want to see what everyone is looking at on Ravelry? So we use the filter called Hot Right Now. So you go into Ravelry, you go to patterns, and then it will automatically be on most popular. So when you search the patterns, it will always just show you most popular. But drop down that box that's up there, that click down box, and choose Hot Right Now. And the algorithm is basically what are people clicking on. It's got nothing to do with what's in your queue, or I know with Ravelry you can have finished, and you can start an object and tell Ravelry you've finished an object, which I think most popular is based on. This is purely based on eyes. And how many people are clicking it. Hence why I think the ranunculus is normally always in the charts, because people are always just coming to it. So we're going to start off with the crochet one. We've got new music because last month I had a catastrophic failure with the hard drive failing. And yes, who didn't have a backup of the backup? Me. So I've had to redo an awful lot of things. So we've got some new music. See it as a refresh. The only thing is, we haven't really timed it with Fizz, so we'll see how quick Fizz has got to copy and paste the links to Ravelry. So if you see anything you like, you know Fizz will have the links for you in the chat, and then these videos will be uploaded later, and get looking. I've already seen a nice crochet vest in the top 10, so get ready. Crochet first. Ready, Fizz? She's ready. Here we go. Crochet charts hot right now. Here we go. How'd you get on, Fizz? I'm looking at it on YouTube. You, only one behind, she says. That's not bad at all. What do you like there? Did you see anything you liked? If you did, click on the link, go to the pattern, buy the pattern. The designer gets the money. It's brilliant. Wonderful. So now the knitting charts. Let's just do, if you're still watching, who have we got still? We've still got 27 people watching. That's great. So the knitting charts for you now. As I've said, the ranunculus is always in the charts. Is it going to be in the charts? If you think it is, what number is it going to be? I always see it at number 7. No matter how many times me and Fizz have done this charts on a Sunday, well, which is now 30 weeks. 30 weeks, Fizz, we've been doing this. So phenomenal. It always seems to be at number 7. So let us know. Yes, Fizz, isn't she amazing, Susan? Yep. Copying and pasting that in there. All prepared for you. So it makes it easy. And also, if you're watching on replay, you can still go to the chat and click on the link too. It's wonderful. Show would be completely different without her, that's for sure. James, I like the new music. Good. Sometimes it's nice, isn't it, when you have to refresh things, and then you think, well, it's a good opportunity. I've lost that, so I've got to redo it again, so why not? I changed a few fonts and things and made it a bit easier for me to do quickly. So we've got the ranunculus. Susan says it's number 10. Natasha says 7. Jackie says 8. Yeah, let's find out. Here we go. Knitting charts. There it is. Number 6. Fizz, how are your fingers? Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Yes, Valerie, in the crochet charts, that was the one I loved. The tank, really, really nice. And Jill, yeah, crochet is like wizardry to me. Now, that's what Ting said when we were trying to teach him many, many years ago. When I was still teaching, he's like, I can't do it, can't do it. It's like wizardry. But he finally got it, and he can do it. You can do it. It's lovely. I absolutely love doing the charts. It's fascinating seeing what people are literally clicking on, whether that's the same old patterns that we see over and over again, brand new patterns that I've never heard of, and it's just nice. It doesn't take long, and it will be fascinating to see. When we come to the end of the year, we will compile the charts of who's been in the most, because that will be fascinating to see. So yeah, right. Let's finish off. I know we've gone a little bit over. That's things to come. Yes, there's Selly Telly, our next Selly Telly one. So we're hopefully going to be in a pattern now of every 2 weeks. Please don't feel like you ever have to watch. Will be the Woolpatch Show, then 2 weeks later, the Selly Telly Show. 2 weeks later, then the Woolpatch Show. So basically once a month. And Selly Telly, if you saw our last Selly Telly, is literally me just selling. It's another opportunity for the shop. We have a colour change. There we are. Bright yellow, pink and blue. And this is what it looks like. And it is literally me with product selling. Now, Selly Telly does involve you just registering. If you've already registered, you don't have to do it again. Because basically what it means is we've got your email address. And then your YouTube username. So say it was Fizz, she would register. She would just say, pop down her email on this form, and then that would link her email to her name there. So if she bought something halfway through the show, and said, I want this, then I would then be able to email her at the end of the show, and then she could pay for a product and I would send it to her. That's all Selly Telly is. It's just another way, as I say, of showing stuff to you. Now, this next one is a yarn one. Just all associated with yarn. Now, our first Selly Telly was a fabric sale. Mega bargain offers because we were pushing the fabric through. This is just a normal Selly Telly. So it's normal products, special products, and normal products. There might well be a few bargains there because I've got some special yarn in from what we call dead stock. So there will be a few sale surprises. Maybe 5 hanks of something or 6 hanks of something, which you could buy rather than buying them one at a time. So there will be a few special sale items, but the majority will be yarn. And I can't wait to show you a live demo of the Gleaner. Now this was, can we see that? That's not going to, there we go. Have you got a Gleaner? Pop it in the comments if you have. If you're in the world of wool, you know at some point yarn does pill. Now, some yarn pills quicker than others. It does depend on how much you wear it, where the wear and tear comes. Is it from brushing? So you often get the pilling down the side there, or on the top, if things are sitting on your arms quite a lot. And how do you deal with that? Well, there are quite a few products on the market, and one of them is the Gleaner. I saw this at the trade show at Cologne, and I was like, oh, wow. It's not battery powered. It's just good old-fashioned hand scraping the pills off. I've had a go already because I wanted to test it just quickly before the Selly Telly, because you don't want to sell a product that's like, oh, but I saw it at Cologne, and when they were demoing it, it was phenomenal. I've got a great garment that's got a lot of pills already. My Game of Thrones cardigan that I wore all over winter and lived out of, it's merino and it's pilling quite a lot. So you're going to see that, and if you like that, you can purchase it. It's 20 quid. But sometimes before you buy something, you want to see it being used, and that's the beauty of Selly Telly. I can show you that, and then you can go, oh, wow, that is really worth the money. I'm going to buy it. So next fortnight, only 2 weeks away, will be Selly Telly. And it's really chilled. You just sit in the chat. You can chat away with each other. And if you want a ball of wool, or you want the Gleaner, you just put in whatever number it is, and we'll guide you through the number. But if you want to purchase, you've got to register first. If it's not your thing, doesn't matter. It's a completely different style of show. compared to this. And then also what I want to talk to you about before we finish is the final of the Great British Sewing Bee is next Wednesday. And some of you know, I can see Everbee here, and I know Fizz watches, and as does Valerie too. Some of you watch me and Ting do Unpicked, which is this one. That's me and Ting. And this one here is with the lovely Carol, the Master Tailor Couturier. We are doing them both live. It's going to be an epic. Next Thursday, 8 o'clock, me and Ting will be live with our show. A strict hour. We'll be talking through the 3 rounds and what they make with the pictures, and then obviously celebrating who won. Because I know, as I say, sometimes we go, oh, what's wrong with that? And why did they do that? Or what's that for a transformation round? But ultimately, we still love the show. So we'd love you to join us live, because we can have your comments like we have here up on the screen as we do it. Oh, James, damn, I'm at knit night. Oh, no. Oh, don't worry. You can watch on catch up. But yes, and then we'll finish just before 9, and then I'll direct to another show with Carol for an hour, doing exactly the same again, where Carol talks about it. And you get to hear another opinion. And as I said this many times, doing Unpicked and All Gathered Up, it is lovely to share your opinions, but just do it in the right way. You know, when you go on Twitter, you have opinions that just are frankly really upsetting and not very nice. I hope when we do Unpicked and All Gathered Up, that our teacher side comes out, and we do analyse and we do critique and we share opinions, and we also then respect those opinions, because we can't all agree with everything, and we all like different things. And I know many of our commenters who always come on the videos have that same outlook. So it's always lovely to share opinions. So we'd love to hear what you think too, because we all think different things. But it will be lovely to celebrate the final too with who won and what they created, because it is phenomenal what they do in such little time. Speed sewing, I think, is what they call it, isn't it? So if you want to join us, if you have been watching the Sewing Bee, then join us live. You don't have to do 2 shows. You might just want to watch me and Ting, and then or tune in for me and Carol. Some of you watch both, so there you go. That's your evening done, isn't it? So there we are. That's Unpicked next Thursday. And then we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Selly Telly. Right. Oh, let's just have a quick look at the chat before we go. Jill, I have a gleaner. Do you? Right. That's great to know. And it's great. There you go. You see? So already. So that's nice to know. Jan says, I can't wait. Brilliant. Valerie, I have to watch late. Oh, yeah, but you're on a different time plane, Valerie, aren't you? You're over the pond. Sue says knit night. I know. James goes to one in Bury St Edmunds. I think, is that right? I would do a knit night at the Woolpatch, but because I live 30 miles away from the shop, I'll be like driving home at 11 o'clock at night. If I lived above the shop, it would be different. But I have often thought it would be lovely to do an evening. Susan says, these Sewing Bee podcasts have been so informative. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, Ting's got a vast amount of knowledge anyway, but Carol, you think over 10 episodes over the last 10 weeks, and specifically over the last 2 years, how much information, techniques and skills that she has imparted to us all is phenomenal. And she's doing masterclasses soon. She's doing paid masterclasses further down the line, but she is doing her first masterclass free as a pilot to test to see if it works. So if you're interested, if you're interested in doing something with Carol in this free pilot, then tune in next week. Yes, wonderful, Fizz. Absolutely right. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe. It all helps. It just tells YouTube that, oh, something's going on. If you keep pressing the like button, every one of you, it's like, oh, perhaps we should share this to other people. And then it appears on your home feed and so forth. It does make a difference. And as you know, that income is going into the shop and paying a wage. So it is all valuable. So thanks for that, Fizz. Yes, throwing slippers. Absolutely. Ever be. Ting should paint in a slipper machine. Yes, if you know, you know with that. Oh, it's so lovely reading your messages. Do a natter on a Saturday. Oh, I could do, because then I could have a lie-in Sunday, couldn't I? And you've signed up. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. You're actually rubbish at sewing. And Jan, you've signed up. Oh, wonderful. Brilliant. Well, as I say, I think she's got 5 on the first one. But then you've also got the chance to be observers. It's fascinating. It's going to be fascinating. I'm going to be one as well. Definitely, I'll be there. So maybe I'll see some of you, or if not, I'll see you as an observer. Well, there we are. 20 minutes over. Apologies. But do you know what? What else is there to do on a Sunday evening if you're in the UK? James in New Zealand, oh, does that mean, are you still here? Oh, you are still here. Oh, has he? Oh, where? Oh, yeah, James, what time is it now? Are you having breakfast now? Or have I made you late for work? Oh, no, it's Sunday. No, it's Monday morning because he's in New Zealand. Are you late for work? Where do I sign up? Okay, so Everbee, if you go to Carol on my channel, go to All Gathered Up, the latest video, and then read in the blurb. There's a special email, but if you go to All Gathered Up, look at the chapters because I chapterize everything. You could jump to the masterclass chapter, and there's a slide that explains it all too. It's fascinating. So go to the last All Gathered Up video. There we are. Right. I think we're done, aren't we? Fizz, what do you think? Good show? Have you enjoyed it? Well done. Well done to you, Fizz, as always. And well done to you for watching. Lovely having you join in. And chat all through, and it's been a lovely show. I actually quite like going over. You know, maybe we should have it a bit longer. Should we aim for an hour and a half show next time? I still want to do a Saturday, like a Saturday afternoon, like a 3-hour extravaganza where people could dip in with their knitting or dip in with their lunch, and we could just be talking knitting, sewing, patchwork, dressmaking, shop stuff, couldn't we? Thanks, everyone. Oh, I'm going out of focus now because it's getting too dark. It's been lovely having you. Might see you in 2 weeks then for Selly Telly. If not, I'll see you in 4 weeks for our August edition of the Woolpatch Show. Been lovely having you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.